Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Jahaneman, your own channel. And today in this channel, we are going to talk about innovation, creativity, and design thinking. And we have an expert to discuss about this topic, and the expert has wonderful idea how we can develop creativity, design thinking, and innovation. So let's welcome our guest for today's show. Let's welcome Mr. Arun Subramaniam ji. A big round of applause to you, sir. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And we
Dr.
have
Halima.
Dr. Ram as well from Singapore. Dr. Ram, how are you?
Hello everyone, it's very nice to have the session today. Hope it would serve the needful things for many people. Thank you.
Welcome. So Arun Subramaniam ji, actually I know you are a great motivator, you are a great businessman, you are a great inspirer, and everything is great with you. But it is unfortunate for me that I would like to know my viewers also that what exactly greatness lies in you. So please introduce yourself and about your work, about your business, about your mission in life, about your niche.
Okay. My name is Arun Subramanian. I'm the managing director of Top League Training and Business Consulting. We are a group of, very successful professionals. Most of them have retired. Top League Training and Business Consulting is our way of giving back to society. Now, I know this sounds very cliche. Whenever you ask a successful man why he's doing something, it is standard operating procedure to say that he is doing it to give back to society. But I would like to tell my viewers through you that what I'm saying here is not just a statement. And to help you understand this, let me tell you why I'm telling this. Governments the world over are worried about climate change. Why? There is no problem with the climate as it is today per se, but they are all concentrating on climate change. People talk about world peace. Why? We are habituated to the world as it is today. We are not much bothered about it. Then why bother about world peace? We talk about collaboration between the nations. Why? Every nation is on its own doing well. Then why should we talk about collaborations? We are talking about all these things with a view in the future. I am past my prime. I have had a very successful, happy, contented life. I am blessed with 2 children who are very successful in life. I've got 2 wonderful daughters-in-law who are more than a daughter to me. They are very successful, very intelligent. But what worries me is, what are my grandchildren and their great-grandchildren going to do? How can I provide for them? I can provide for them only when I ensure that the seeds are sown today, which will serve them tomorrow. And when I work towards developing the community, the society, the younger generation, the business people today, helping them strengthen themselves and upskill themselves, then I create a better world in which they will come into and they will grow. Here, a small example, let me give you. In the early 20th century or the late 19th century, that is somewhere around the period of, say, 1880 to around 2000, in 1910, the country which we all look at to as the most powerful country, the world's largest consumer, the United States of America, was itself a struggling, poor, developing nation. But it is the business people, the youngsters, the entrepreneurs of that time who made America into what it is today. We at Top League, numbering around 40 consultants, are desirous of sharing our knowledge, our experience with the world at large, so that we can build a good India, a good
Thank
world.
you very much, sir. Yeah, thank you very much. It's really a very noble cause and a nice initiative. Today we are here to know more about this program, and the program which is here. You are going to organize this program for the industries, for the business people, and for others. So will you please just let us know that what exactly is the objective of this program, Creativity, Innovation and Design Thinking, your master class. So what exactly is the objective of this program and what has inspired you to design such a wonderful program?
Okay, to help you understand this again, I will have to take you through a long-winded answer and I might ask you a few questions.
Yes, please.
I hope you will oblige me by answering it.
Yeah, sure.
You see, we have all seen small children grow up in our house, in our family. We have had children and our children have had children. And, there is no parent, he or she, who's not, proud of their child. Everyone goes to the roof and shouts from the rooftop, my child is a genius. Think of your child when it was 10 months old. Are you not astounded by its inquisitiveness, by its ability to make you dance around doing whatever it beckoned and wanted you to do? At the way it used to express itself even when it had no words to say? The way it used to create things and you used to marvel and enjoy it? But where is all that today? What happened? Along the way, somewhere, the creativity, which is a default behavior in every child, is suppressed. And we grow up into so-called serious individuals who are not just a pain to society, but to ourselves. My program, those 4 days of creativity, is aimed at helping you reclaim that creativity. Psychologists say, that after the age of 24, by that time, everything that you have to learn, the brain is fully developed. And now, that is the period when you have to go back to your roots, reclaim your creativity, because creativity is the only way by which you can live your life to the full. When God sent you here, he did not send you to suffer. He sent you to appreciate his creation, rejoice his creation, celebrate his creation, and to excel in his creation. What are we doing? Suffering. A painful life, full of frustration, sorrow, anger, and fights, all because we have forgotten our creative nature.
Actually, my next question was the same. That quite often you said that reclaim your creativity, and now it's good that you yourself are answering this, that what exactly you mean when you say that reclaim your creativity. And that's really truth, that now somewhere we have forgotten those small innovation which the children used to do in their small villages and small places. So thank you very much, sir. Now just let me know that who all are going to be benefit by this program.
That's a wonderful question. That's a wonderful question, Dr. Halima. But I am constrained to answer you with another question. Who all has a right to be happy in life?
Everyone.
Everyone will benefit out of it. Because there is no age limit. You see, are we to assume that an 85-year-old has got no right to enjoy life? Has got no right to express himself in the way that others will get an aha moment? Life is all about aha. Just look at a child, a 10-month-old child looks at a fan. He's mesmerized. The fan is moving. He sees a bird fly. He's mesmerized. A bird is flying. How much joy he gets out of it. And that's what the purpose of life is, joy. And you see, unless you are able to appreciate the creativity of nature, you cannot be joyful. And the world is nothing but a projection of what is within you. As the elders have already said, as within, so without, as below, so above.
Agreed, 100%, that everyone has right over creativity, happiness, and enjoyment. You quite often say that innovation is associated with inspiration. What exactly you mean when you say this?
Dr. Halima, I would like to maybe it's not the done thing to contradict your, interviewer, but I am constrained to do that. People say that innovation is associated with inspiration. I disagree with it.
Okay.
I say innovation is a process. At every step we innovate. You see, I'll give you a simple example. You asked me this question, you say that innovation is associated with inspiration. Now I had to answer you back in a way which will not hurt you, but at the same time get the message across to you. If that is not an innovation in expression, what is it? You see, innovation is that at every nodal point of our life, at every point where we interact with this universe, there is innovation. Only thing is, it's a process. And in the commercial context, in the world of commerce, you just cannot get up one day in the morning and say, I'm going to innovate. But that's not the way things are done. If you want to beat competition, you have to innovate. Then you should know where to focus your energies, your thought processes, so that you can come up with an innovative product which will reply the challenges of the market. In a relationship, you need to know where to innovate so that you will be able to express yourself adequately and appropriately.
So nice of you. I got it. I understood your point. Thank you very much. In today's world, and especially after COVID era, how much innovation and creativity is required for the industries in any organization for the working environment?
Excellent question. COVID is a watershed moment in the evolution of this earth. Let me put it that way. As they say, grand pictures need grand canvas to paint on. COVID is a disruption the like of which mankind has not seen possibly till today. And what the future is going to be, what the emergent normal is going to be, behavioral scientists and business psychologists are still trying to understand. Everything has changed. That means the most important tool for decision making, you have been deprived of it. What is the most important tool? Past data. Decision is based always on historic data, and you have no historic data on how to go forward because you don't know what this forward is. People are habituated to going to the office. Now you can't go to the office. Customer behavior has changed. Disposable income is really reduced. And you really do not know what are going to be the essentials going forward. Under the circumstances, you really will have to apply design thinking to understand how to go forward. In design thinking, there is a problem called the wicked problem. A wicked problem is one where the problem cannot be defined, the path is unknown, the solution is indeterminate. It is under those circumstances where design thinking is very important. Innovation per se, without the application of design thinking, will not work. Let me explain to you. We all know a pot. A pot is made of clay. And to convert that clay into a pot, you require the expertise of a potter. The clay is a substantial cost, the material which gets converted into a pot. The expertise of the potter is the design thinking. When he applies that expertise on the pot, it gets converted into a clay, which is, in this case, innovative behavior, innovative product, innovative outcome. So you see, your creativity acted upon by the process called design thinking. Incidentally, Dr. Halima, I'm sure you will agree with me that design thinking is not thinking. It's about not thinking. It's about doing. How do you do things? The word is design thinking, but the process is of doing. You have a creative ability. You apply the concept of design thinking to it, respect to a particular problem, and the outcome is the innovation. That is why these three programs, creativity, innovation, and design thinking, goes hand in hand. It is so integrated that it is the only way to move forward. You can sit and lament your future that you were born at a period, when COVID struck. Or you could apply these three principles and rejoice that you are alive to do something to society at a period when COVID struck. The choice is yours.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Today I understood design thinking. Otherwise, I was always confused between design thinking and mind mapping. So it was, I used to think, thank you very much for clearing my doubt about design thinking. And really, it's so fascinating. But one thing, Mr. Arun, in the market, there are so many people, so many service providers, and so many people are talking about creativity, innovation, and design thinking. Then why one should go with Top League, and why one should attend your programs and your services?
That's an excellent question. That's an absolutely excellent question. There are so many people, who have put out their wares for sale. My ware is not for sale. If it were for sale, I would also have charged a couple of lakhs of rupees for this product. Incidentally, there is an educational institution which is charging $3,000 to $3,500 for this sort of a program. But we are not doing that. Why we are not doing it? Why have we priced ourselves at such a low cost? Because we want it to reach to the maximum number of people. You will have to put design thinking as a default behavior. Second thing is, we are going to be not just teaching design thinking, we are going to be helping you understand the process of reclaiming your creativity. We are going to be helping you to understand where to focus your creative ability for innovating, how to do it. And then we are going to be explaining in detail the principles of design thinking, the processes of design thinking, and how to integrate it into the social and commercial fabric. Now, another thing. Let me help you understand a bit more about design thinking, what is going to be our methodology of teaching. Most people, will just explain the terms, maybe give a couple of examples and leave it at that. But now I am going to show you a live example of your understanding one particular aspect of design thinking. It is not going to take you more than half a minute.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, customer is king. So what picture came in your mind? Nothing. You just heard the words customer is king, right? Now, how many children do you have, Dr. Halima?
I have 2 sons.
2 sons. Tell me the name of one of the sons.
It's Ammar, Ammar.
Ammar is king. What picture came?
Ammar with a crown.
So how is it that the picture of Ammar with a crown came in your mind? Why did it come? Because you could immediately relate to that name Ammar, right?
Yes.
In the commercial world, we always listen, customer is king. This product is for this customer. This product is for that segment of the customer. We hear or not.
Yes.
And the whole thing falls flat on his face. Because the customer is unable to relate with him. Relate with that concept, relate with that statement. But in design thinking, what do? We create something called a persona. What is a persona? We take that customer segment and create a picture of that customer segment. We give characteristics to it. We give a name. We give a profession. We give strengths, weaknesses, behavioral and attitudinal, elements we add to it, and we create a real life of a customer. And then we say, this product is focused at Ammar. Now, every person will relate to it immediately. That is design thinking. Design thinking is application of all the concepts which are preceded till today. The reason why design thinking is so powerful is we help you identify who your real customer is. When we say address the pains of the customer, okay, so you want to buy a handbag. Now, what are the pains? You don't know. But when I map the customer journey to you, immediately you identify with the pains that will go, which will be fulfilled by that handbag. Now people say enhance the customer experience so that they will go and buy the handbag. What does it mean? It's just a bunch of words, but I help you create an experience pyramid and then take you step by step and show you what you need to add at every step, so that when you buy the handbag, you feel, that you are Bridget Bardot walking down the streets of whatever avenue it is in Hollywood. And, you imagine yourself like that, because ultimately, Dr. Halima, the world is a world of experience. The world is good or bad depending upon your experience. Right
And
or
I
not?
always believe that it's all in the mind. If you are
Totally.
capturing the mind of the customer, then naturally the customer is your slave. Then whatever you want to sell, you can sell to the people.
I always say the only piece of land available to you is 6 inches between your 2 ears. What you do of it decides whether you are a king or a slave.
True, very true. So, Dr. Ram, in this course, how Singapore is going to contribute? You are from Singapore and you are associated with this course. So, please let us know.
Yeah, from Singapore as a smart nation environment, here the strategy already postulated, and the government take all the measurements and the steps, concepts, everything for the education to the students who are associated with the educational institutes in Singapore, and they are opening with the global collaboration, especially for this creativity, innovation, and the design thinking. Because whatever the way in future the smart nation or smart city or smart home environment really require all these kind of needs and developments. So whatever the way, the companies or organizations who equip with the staff members or any kind of stakeholders who are dealing with the customer centric values must need to learn all these facts and the factuals which are going to empower them and engage them for making a lot of services credibility to the organization to withstand in the competition. So that is the goal set, and I'm very eager to join and attend this program, and want to know many ideas, many facts, as he has lot of values behind this course. That way we can able to enrich our capabilities.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ram, for joining us. And I think before winding up the program, can we inform our viewers that what exactly they have to invest for attending so many wonderful things?
It is very, very priced, very, reasonably. It is not just for the common man, it is for the millionaires also. It's very simple. You register immediately by paying 10 Singapore dollars if you're abroad, or transferring 500 rupees as registration fee. The total course fee is 11,000 rupees for 12 days. Every day from February 19th onwards, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the first 4 days will be for creativity. The next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we will be discussing innovation. And the third week, that is from the beginning of March, that is, I think, around 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, we will be discussing design thinking. The total course will be 11,000 rupees, where you will be deducting the first 500 rupees and then paying the balance 10,500. Or in case of Singapore dollar, you will deduct the first $10 which are paid for registration and pay the balance $200. That will be on 16th of February. The payment will have to be made. This is inclusive of GST for people who pay from India. And after that, for 3 months, I'm available to the participants for handholding and helping them internalize the entire learning. We will also be providing the video recordings of the entire class. And throughout my career, I have been called a checklist manager because I have operated only through checklists. I always make a checklist of everything that needs to be done because, I don't want to miss out on any step and then cut a sorry figure. So I always make a checklist. I will be providing checklist of the entire program. And we will be forming a group of those who are attending the program so that they can all help each other. See, one of the biggest advantages of going to these, premier colleges, Ivy League colleges, is the alumni. The alumni is nothing but a sophisticated way of telling you can network with the leaders. So here, we will have a group where you can network with each other. I will also be there. The consultants of Top League will also be there. And such eminent personalities like Dr. Ram and Dr. Halima will also be there. So, we will all help each other and make our short stay on this planet enjoyable for ourselves and worthwhile for others.
Thank you very much. Very true.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Ram, and thank you, Subramaniam ji. आपने इतना बेशकीमत वक्त दिया. Thank you very much for your time, and may Almighty bless you. And I wish you all the best for all your endeavors. And certainly, I am going to join it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Very nice hearing